Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Obviously, we're here today for probably the most important person in the police department, our own Mary Wittmeyer. You can tell by the outpouring of support, the amount of people that are here today, what you mean to this agency. But I'm going to get to that later. First, I'd like to welcome everyone. We have some presentations for you. This isn't a formal event. This is just a celebration of you, and that's why everyone's here today. So, but to make it even more special, we've been joined obviously by our media people because this is an important day, not only for you but for us. Fortunately, today we have our own Steve Montiero, more affectionately known as Trooper Steve. He's going to be helping us introduce some of our dignitaries that made a special trip today here to honor you. So without further ado, Trooper Steve.
Thank you, guys. First, thank you guys for having me out here today. It's not often that you get constant Facebook messages from a volunteer service saying, hey, you better get out here and MC this event. And that's exactly what happened. Where's Rossi at? That gentleman right there doesn't stop. So it's an absolute honor. This is what keeps my glass full, is doing stuff like this and recognizing amazing individuals like Mary. For those that don't know, I am an actual law enforcement officer. I don't call myself Trooper Steve for nothing. Because let's be real, troopers got a bad rap these days every now and then, right? So I did spend a good career with the Florida Highway Patrol, and now I get to do traffic safety. Everyone all right? Chief, you good? All right. Gotcha, right? So, but to come out here and do stuff like this, you know, I tell people it's the 2 hours of doing traffic in the morning, and then this is what keeps my glass full, is coming out to public service. I get to hop in cars with local agencies and really feature what the men and women do. And I'll tell you, on the record right here, you guys are the sharpest volunteers I've ever seen. When it comes to your uniforms, no one in Central Florida, 9 counties, has you guys comes even close. So you should be really proud of what you guys look like. So like the chief said, we're here to specifically honor and recognize and celebrate Mary, a life of service, a heart of gold, a centenarian right here among us, especially during National Women's Month, and it is an absolute honor to be here. I love that you're rocking your crown today, ma'am. So she joined the Port Orange Police Department, volunteers in policing services back in 1984. So I wasn't even a thought. Okay, like the plan wasn't even there for Steve yet. So that's it's amazing that for over 40 years of volunteer service, not only to this police department, but to the members of this community in this city, everybody knows who Mary is. And he knows who Mary is. He's super excited. So today we're going to be recognizing Mary with a lot of recognition from some pretty high levels, from local dignitaries that are here to really commend you and thank you. And that's what it's about, is simple thank you about your service, and it's your birthday, so we're here to celebrate that too. All right, so I'd like to start with an email, a nice little letter here signed by Senator Rick Scott. He could not be here today, so it reads, Dear Mrs. Wittmeyer, congratulations on your 100th birthday. You are among the special segment of our population known as centenarians. That is a tremendous accomplishment. As Floridians, we feel a deep sense of appreciation for leadership of our elder population. Throughout your lifetime, Florida has grown to be a national leader in aerospace, tourism, and job creation. For over 100, your 100 milestone is longevity provides a living link to our past and the values that help to make our state and nation great. As a member of the Senate Special Committee on Aging, I am proud to represent Florida's centenarian community. May this be a special time of celebration and recalling memories of family and friends, and looking forward to a great new year. Signed, Senator Rick Scott. I'd like to invite up representatives from the Office of Congressman Corey Mills.
First of all, I want to give you this so you can read along, but I'll read it up there for you. Thank you. Well, I am not Congressman Corey Mills. My name is Paul Brown, but I got the honor of being here today because of my experiences being a police officer in a former life. So, and I can tell you that before I read this proclamation here, I want to thank you all for the volunteer service that you do, because I know from my own experience, if it wasn't for the work that the volunteer groups did on behalf of the police department, a lot of the bulk work would not get done, especially the stuff behind the scenes. So thank you very much for everyone like you. Thank you. Well, let me read this proclamation, and it's very important. So I'll read it slowly so I can understand it. You know, I get the right. Wait, can you hold this so I can get it? Okay, Centenarian Recognition Proclamation. Whereas Mary Wittmeyer and her husband Norman moved to Port Orange in 1982, where she shortly thereafter became one of the first group of women to join the newly formed volunteer group formed by the Port Orange Police Department known as Volunteers in Policing Services. And whereas Mary Wittmeyer started out assisting the Detective Bureau by comparing pawn tickets to items on the department's stolen property list, assisted throughout the years in multiple capacities, including fingerprinting, equipment maintenance, traffic control, and whereas 40 years later, Mary Wittmeyer is still serving the Port Orange Police Department as a volunteer, holding the rank of lieutenant, and has upheld the role of secretary and treasurer for Volunteers and Policing Services. And whereas on March 27, 2024, Mary Wittmeyer will be celebrating her 100th birthday. Now, therefore, Congressman Corey Mills, on behalf of the Florida District 7, do ask our citizens to recognize the accomplished lifetime of service bestowed upon her community of Port Orange as we salute her obtaining the unique title of a Centenarian on this 27th day of March in the year 2024, signed by Congressman Corey Mills. Thank you.
Now welcoming up the office of Florida State Senator Tom Wright. Yeah, wherever you'd like.
I'm Charlene Gavner. I'm with State Senator Tom Wright's office, and he is very sorry that he wasn't able to be here, but this proclamation is from him to you. Okay. A Florida Senator's Proclamation by Senator Tom A. Wright. Whereas, in 1982, Mary Wittmeyer and her husband Norman moved from Buffalo, New York to Port Orange, Florida. And in 1983, Mary and Norman Wittmeyer would begin volunteering their time to the Port Orange Police Department's newly formed community group, Volunteers in Policing Services. And Mary Wittmeyer began volunteering in the Detective Bureau, where Ms. Wittmeyer would pick up pawn tickets to compare the items to the department's stolen property list. And after the department became computerized, Ms. Wittmeyer would assist the Port Orange Police Department with multiple services, including fingerprinting, equipment maintenance, and traffic control. And 40 years later, Ms. Wittmeyer still volunteers a minimum of 2 days a week with the VIPs program, working as a courier, and currently holds the ranking position of lieutenant. And not only does 2024 mark 40 years of service with the VIPs program, but Mary Wittmeyer is also turning her 100th birthday on March 27th. And at 100 years old, Mary Wittmeyer stands as the shining example of servant leadership and giving back to one's community through her unending dedication to the residents of Port Orange. And Mary Wittmeyer is an integral part of Port Orange history and will have a lasting mark for generations to come through her work as one of the first women to volunteer to take part in the VIPs program. Now therefore, I, Tom A. Wright, State Senator District 8, do hereby claim March 27, 2024 as Mary Wittmeyer Day.
Thank you, ma'am. I'd like to welcome up Florida County, Volusia County's Matt Reinhardt. Yes, sir.
Before I came up here today, I was noticing the photos up here. There is no way they could get a camera to capture you guys, I guess, because it seems like there's more of you here than what were on those photos. So I commend you. Yeah. And I couldn't agree more with the appearance of Port Orange's volunteer group. You have a wonderful crowd here. Mary, Lieutenant, this is your day, and it's my absolute pleasure to be here. My law enforcement career was about 30 years, but I was on the dark side, the jail side. So I retired as a warden in 2017. So I know for a fact the volunteers that we even had at the correctional environment, we couldn't do our job without wonderful people like yourself. So thank you very much for your service. I appreciate that. Now, I'm listening to some of the proclamations. I think that Congressman Mills' office kind of cheated and stole mine. And what is one word you're going to hear a lot is whereas. So, whereas 100-year-old Port Orange resident Mary Wittmeyer is living proof that volunteerism is alive and well in Volusia County. And whereas Mary and her late husband Norman moved to Port Orange from Buffalo, New York in 1982 and joined the new Volunteers in Policing Service VIPS program at the Port Orange Police Department a year later. And whereas her volunteer duties over the past 4 decades have included, I would complain about me too. I would. No, I'm just kidding. They do it at council meetings as well, so I'm just saying. Whereas her volunteer duties over the past 4 decades have included comparing pawn shop tickets to the Port Orange Police Department stolen property list, taking fingerprints, maintaining equipment, and controlling traffic. Whew, that's a lot of work. And whereas today Mary holds the rank of lieutenant and continues to volunteer 2 days a week as a courier. And whereas Mary's friends and family member are joining with Port Orange Police Department to celebrate her 100th birthday on March 27, 2024. And now, therefore, we, the County Council of Volusia County, Florida, do hereby proclaim March 27, 2024 as Mary Wittmeyer Day. And Volusia County wish the Port Orange residents this Port Orange resident a very happy 100th birthday, dated this day from the entire council. Thank you very much for your service.
Thank you, sir. It is my honor to welcome up the City of Port Orange Mayor, Don Burnett.
I can't do this alone because I don't act alone when it comes to my city council, so I want my Vice Mayor, Scott Stiltner, to come up here with me. We always stand together when it comes to important things, and Mary, you're as good as they get. I tell you, a couple weeks ago, I was coming off the highway, and I popped into McDonald's because I had to use the bathroom, and I was in a hurry. And you were sitting there having some coffee. All of a sudden, I wanted to visit, and I wasn't in a hurry anymore. You have that kind of effect on people. You really do. And you think about it. You've been alive 36,525 days. You've given 14,600 days of your life to the city of Port Orange in service to us. I'm going to have Scott read this proclamation here in a second because he's wearing his glasses and I'm not. But you take a look at legacy. It isn't about what she's done in the last 40 years. That in itself is monumental. That service plus what she's inspired in others. And those others, what they've inspired in others, we can't measure that. We can't measure that. So when I say happy birthday, I really truly wish that your next 100 years are as good as your first 100. We love you. And I'm going to have Scott read the proclamation on my behalf.
Mary, first of all, happy birthday. And I just want to say, as I walked into this room and kind of looking around a little bit, it's not often that you see this caliber of people in one room. There are so many really awesome, special people that have served this city that have shown up here today to support you and share their love for what you've done. And reflecting back from the time that I have served with the city of Port Orange, I want to thank you for training 5 police chiefs because, right? She knows.
Absolutely.
Because there's quite a few in this room that know the history of different chiefs showing up going, you have people that do what for free? And then they meet you folks and they talk to people like Mary, and Mary puts them on the right track and explains what they can do for them in this community. And every one of those police chiefs and assistant chiefs have all fallen in love with the concept, and they treasure what you guys do. As a community in Port Orange, we are so richly blessed with so many treasures. But I got to tell you, you are right there at the very top of the treasures that we have in our city. And you are a true blessing to everybody who lives in Port Orange and everybody who's had the opportunity to have their lives touched by you in even small ways. So congratulations and happy birthday. Whereas Mary and her husband Norman Wittmeyer moved to Port Orange in 1982 from Buffalo, New York, and joined the Volunteers and Policing Services, VIPS, in 1983, where Mary was one of the first women to volunteer in this program. Mary began volunteering in the Detective Bureau, where she would pick up pawn tickets and compare to the items department's stolen property list. After the department became computerized, she would assist Port Orange Police Department with multiple services, from fingerprinting to equipment maintenance to traffic control. I've seen Mary personally at 2 and 3 and 4 a.m. in the morning at bad crash scenes, haven't I, Mary? She holds the ranking position of lieutenant in the VIPs and has held the title of secretary and treasurer as well. 41 years later, she is still volunteering for the same organization and still volunteers 2 days a week as a courier. And whereas on March 27th, 2024, Mary Wittmeyer will be celebrating her 100th birthday along with 41 years of volunteering service with the Port Orange Police Department, Volunteers and Policing Services. And now therefore, I, state your name,
Donald Overnett,
Mayor of the City of Port Orange, Florida, do hereby proclaim March 27th as Mary Wittmeyer Day in the City of Port Orange, and under his signature it is so declared.
I just want to add one thing. We talked about the legacy of service in the City of Port Orange. I look around the room, I see it everywhere, whether it's volunteers or whether it's people with badges or people who used to have badges, one way or the other. Let's not forget this, family. You all are family to each other, but when you serve, your families serve, and we cannot forget that. So I've got to thank each and every one of you for giving up a little bit of her to us. So thank you for that as well. One each birthday card.
Before I turn it over to the chief, I always try to figure out something to drive a message home. And we've become such a society of I scratch your back, you scratch mine. But if we didn't have a volunteer base, police departments would be stretched thin. We wouldn't be able to do what we do as law enforcement officers. I got used to having the auxiliary program with the state. They are a volunteer force that assist us with the highway patrol. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, all you do is work crashes. But, hey, we need some help too. But when it comes to a volunteer force like this, you're coming out in your own time. You're leaving your loved ones for no paycheck. But you're doing it because your heart needs that filled. And Mary, I can never probably express how much gratitude I have for people like you, but this community has shown up. The mayor hit it right on the head. I have never seen a birthday celebration like this, and let alone someone who's training chiefs. So he told me real quick, he's like, she's a good one. So Lieutenant, it is an honor, and we're glad that we're here. So I'm going to welcome your chief up here now, okay? All right, you're welcome.
Thank you, Steve. As I mentioned, this is going to be the fun part for me. But before I go, I want to bring up Big Ken Nichols for a quick presentation from the VIPs themselves. As you can tell, the backbone of this department, obviously, for many, many years. Ken, good.
Yes, Mary, I just want to say thank you for your service. And I've been here 13 years, and I can still remember when I was new, and I could lean on Mary. She looked out for me and had the answers when I needed them. And she's still here. I've only been here for 3 chiefs, but who knows how long She set the bar pretty high, though. I just want to do a quick thank you to a bunch of people that helped with this celebration. Chief Marino, Assistant Chief Proctor, Captain Fisher, Sergeant Harrison, Beth Unray, Heather Rubin and her records team, Quartermaster, Odetta and Julie, the victim advocate, Bob Frazier from the Police Athletic League, Kelly Williams Accreditation, Mike Wallace Public Information, and again, Quartermaster Angelino. And again, Mary, I just want to thank you for all you've done, and you're the backbone of the organization, and you, like again, set the bar pretty high. We don't have a proclamation, but we do have a gift card in here for you, so you can take your family to a nice meal and continue the celebration. Thank you.
Thank you, Major. I'm going to give it back to the Chief. Before I give it to the Chief, I just want to say thank you guys for having me out here today, to the volunteers. You guys are amazing. This is what keeps Port Orange going. There's a lot of pride in this city. Just walking around, everyone knows somebody and has done something. So for you guys to invite the Orlando Trooper up to this neck of the woods, it is greatly appreciated. And don't forget about me, because I love hanging out with you guys. So thank you, Chief. Appreciate you, sir.
Thank you, Steve, again. So, Mary, we're here for you today. I'm so happy we got to do this for you and that your family was able. By the way, these folks traveled all the way from Buffalo, New York. They got
Need
here
help?
at 4 o'clock this morning.
Huh? Okay. I'll hold this for you. You want me to hold the flowers and you do that?
One thing that's interesting is I've been hearing everybody speak.
Just making sure you do
Next
that.
month I'll be
Right,
in my 29th year of law enforcement, and you've been volunteering 12 years longer than I've even been a cop. So I think that's incredible. We mentioned some of the previous chiefs, and obviously Mary's trained all of us, but I would like to acknowledge Chief Jerry Monahan, who's in the back of the room. Orange City Chief Wayne Miller. Wayne is a retired assistant chief, though, from this agency, and was really heavily involved with the volunteer program, with the VIP program, and was a big part of it, as was Chief Monahan in the very beginning. And I think we have one of the original founding members. Where'd he go? One of our retirees that was here today was one of the people that helped put this program together. So interestingly, yesterday when I came to check on the room and see how everything was coming along, I saw this placard that Beth managed to pick up, and there's some interesting things on there. People born in 1924: George H.W. Bush, Jimmy Carter, Marlon Brando, and Don Knotts. I have a particular affinity for Don Knotts, so just so you know. What things cost? Gasoline, 21 cents a gallon. You can buy a car for $1,500. Men's Oxford shirt was $1.59. Chicken was 39 cents a pound. A stamp was 2 cents, and you can get a dozen eggs for 58 cents. So,
My goodness.
Mary, I can't imagine everything that you've seen in your lifetime and the growth, and just forget the change in policing, right? From call boxes and horses and to radios and cars, and you've been here for all of it, and you've seen so much. More so than probably any of us will ever experience in our careers. So I don't want to. Everybody has said some incredible things about you today, and I just have a couple things that we'd like to present to you as part of the police department.
Go ahead.
As I said, your legacy, I don't know that it will ever be matched. 41 years of service. This is on behalf of us. What we did, though, is we had a new VIP jacket made up for you, and it reads Lieutenant Mary Wittmeyer, Centenarian, 40 plus years of service.
Wow.
So, Mary, we couldn't do what we do without you. We appreciate you to no end, and we hope you have a very, very happy day. Lady? No? Mary, the floor is yours if you'd like.
Thank you, everybody.
So, as you can see, Mary is a woman of many words. With that, I just want to thank everyone again for participating. I know Ken already thanked our staff, but I'll tell you, it wasn't from the centerpieces handmade by our own victim advocate, Julie, to the decorations and people just taking, not just wanting to do this for you, just because of who you are. And for all of you for showing up today, we really, really do appreciate it. At this point, this is going to conclude our this part of the celebration, but please feel free. We have food and refreshments in the back. There will also be a cake. I heard that the mayor is going to sing happy birthday. Anybody wants to?
I thought you wanted this to be a good party.
Thank you again, everyone, and happy birthday, Mayor.
Thank you.